So I'm having a chat with Scarlet Rebels. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks so much. So we've just been playing a new single of yours called "Let Me In." Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Yeah, so it's just it's a bit of a sort of a pop song, I think, with easy to memorize lyrics, wrapped in quite heavy guitars and pounding drums, really. So yeah, it's a bit of a live favorite. It's a song that I wrote years ago and we sort of reworked in order to release for this album. So yeah, it's good. It's going down well. So I'm happy with the responses it's been having. So yeah.
Good, good, great. And that's coming off your new record called "Where the Colours Meet," which is out 16th of August. What can we
Yeah.
expect to hear on the record?
Um, well, just I think it's our best record that we've done up to press. Just chocker full of melodies and big guitars. I think it's just a good album, and I know it's probably not very cool for me to say that, being that it's one, that is one of ours. But yeah, we're just really proud of it. It's a good album full of songs. Some touching on all facets of life really, which is what about where the colors meet comes from, about the range of songs and emotions and topics on the album. So yeah, it's I'm excited to get it out now. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And the sound that you created with this record, was it the plan to create that sound, or is it simply how it turned out in the studio?
Yeah, I think we wrote a bunch of songs in order to go into the studio, obviously, and then I think we kind of just had the agreement to sort of say that the songs, if it needed um, a certain sort of instrumentation on it, regardless of if we could reproduce it live, for example, then we didn't sort of pay much heed to that. We just went where the song wanted to go. So um, yeah, I think it's come out just sounding, the songs sort of took us where they wanted to go. Do you know what I mean? Like we built them up as much as they needed to be, or not as much as they needed to be, sort of thing. So there wasn't a plan before we went in. The plan was literally, let's just make sure that every single thing that we do when we record, make sure it serves the song. And if it doesn't, then we won't use it. So yeah, it wasn't planned in that respect. For it to come out sounding like it did, we just planned to make sure that we served the song as best as we could, really. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough. And three records in now, I believe. How's the music, and how have you guys evolved over the years?
Yeah, so it's our third record, so I would say that, we've just got better, I think. And, I think as we've got to know each other, um, we know what the band's strengths and weaknesses are. And, yeah, I just think we've obviously, um, just as we've been together, we've just grown a little bit more confident and just more sort of, yeah, just confident in our abilities to go into a studio and use that as time to make something which people want to hear, really. So I think you can hear progression in every album that we've done, so yeah, I'm just really interested and looking forward to hearing what people make of it and the feedback, etc. So yeah, I'm excited for it to be released, and then hopefully, we have um good feedback that we want from it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you must have written more music than what made it onto the record. What happens to those now? Do you consider them again for the future, or do you bin them off and start again?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So I think, like, when I was writing the songs, or writing a bunch of songs that I was contributing to the album, I purposely held a few back because we had an abundance of material between us anyway. So I held some back, thinking for next time, then I'll put those ones forward. I think we ended up recording 19 demos for the label, and then we put those forward. And then out of those 19, we chose 13 to record. for the album, and then obviously 12 made the album. We've got one left over, which has been recorded and mixed, etc. So I'm assuming that'll get used at some point in the future. The others, I guess we just keep working on them. Uh, I'm not. I don't think it was a case that they weren't good enough to get on the record. Maybe we just need to sort of relook at them, I think. So yeah, they'll never be discarded. I think we can just go away and perhaps dust them off the shelf when we go to write the next record, and then um, see how they stand and how they fit then, and maybe if there's any changes we need to make. So yeah, they'll be in the pot for sure anyway. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And with this being the third record now, do you think you know what Scarlet Rebels is now, or do you think there's more things that you want to try to see if they work for you?
Um, that's a good question. I think, yeah, as a band, we always want to grow. But in certain sort of principles, I think, I think one of the things as a band that we want to be is a band that writes songs first and foremost. And I know that sounds really silly, I think, to say as a band, but what I mean by it is rather than shoehorning massive big guitar riffs and stuff into a song, anything that we want that we release, I think we want it to work, stripped back as an acoustic guitar. So as just like as a song on its own without the drums and without all the bits that make it into what sounds like Scarlet Rebels really. So that is always going to be a principle I think that we need to work from. But in terms of what we are, I think this album expands the palette quite a lot. We worked with a few new producers who brought a lot more ideas and stuff like that to the table. So I think that's just given us a lesson really to kind of to take that third party sort of advice on, and working with new people will bring new ideas. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see how things work in the future and that. So yeah, I think, like I said, being that we're a songwriting band, that's never going to change. But maybe within that parameter, there might be things that move and different sort of colors used, for example. So yeah, so it's just going to be interesting to see how we roll forward. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And when it comes to the writing side of things, how
Yeah.
do tracks normally start off for you guys?
So it depends. If they're written by myself, I would tend to sort of use like a chord structure or something, or like a lyric idea that I might have noted from before, and then sort of create a whole story or a universe around this, and then use one sort of lyric line and then sort of weave a story around it, and then put that into a song. But then if it's our guitarist Chris and myself, Chris has got the knack of when he's writing some of his sort of compositions and guitar lines, etc. He will always work from a period of moving, of how he would want a crowd to move when we're playing a song, or to get somebody's foot tapping, or jumping around or whatever. So then he would bring that piece of music, and then I would use that as a basis to sort of write the rest of the song around. Whereas my tendency is to try and write lyrics and melodies that move people emotionally. So I think the perfect blend for us is to get Chris's sort of idea of a song that can move people physically, and then me using what he's provided to try and write lyrics and melodies that would move people emotionally, and then we've got that perfect balance then. So yeah, it's just interesting the way that the different ways that we do it and that. So it all sort of feeds into who we are as a band, really. So yeah, it's all good stuff that we make sure that we try and utilize as best we can.
Yeah, and with the lyric side of things, is it pretty straightforward for you to add the lyrics to the music, or can it be a challenge at times?
It can be a challenge, yeah, because I think from my point of view, I think I've only ever tried to write from my perception of how I see things and how I view things, and that sort of thing. So it depends. Sometimes I don't feel like I want to be that open as such, but then other times I'll just write something, and I think being vulnerable about a situation or whatever can sort of make the best art sometimes. So yeah, it depends. It depends what it's about, and if it suits the sort of if the lyrics suit the song as musically as well. So it can be challenging, but I think those times when we've been doing it long enough now that I if something isn't coming, then I know just to leave it for the evening and go back to it, because forcing it just makes it makes something not as good as perhaps it can be. So it can be difficult, but I know how to treat it if it is being difficult. I just sort of give it a little bit of space to breathe, and then I know that at some point something will sort of appear, and then we can sort of start again. So yeah, it depends really, but I think those difficult periods I know how to navigate through now. So yeah.
Nice. And you've got some live shows coming up. You've got some in stores. You've got the full works shows as well. I bet you can't wait to be on tour again.
Yeah, so we've got some album launch shows in Swansea, and we've got one in Exeter as well, where the full band is going to be playing the album from start to finish. So that's probably going to be only the only time that we're ever going to do that, because you don't tend to get bands who play an album from start to finish when you're 3 albums deep, sort of thing. So yeah, that's going to be nice to do that, and obviously then we've got the in stores, which is going to be nice because it gives us the opportunity to play the songs as they were written in their very sort of rawest form. So that'll be nice, and then obviously we get the chance to meet people and sign their albums and stuff like that. And then in October we go on tour of the UK for 10 days. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. That'll be good. So we're in the middle of sort of sorting out what sets we're going to be doing for that, and how we want that tour to look. So we're really excited. It's been a few years now since we've done a headline tour. So yeah, we've done a lot of opening for bands like Mr. Big and Fawzi and all these kind of bands. So it's going to be nice to have the opportunity to headline some shows ourselves. So yes, it's exciting. It's going to be good.
Great stuff. Excellent. Wayne, it's been a pleasure having a catch up with you.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I really appreciate you having me on. I really appreciate the time. So cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.